PBS English News Service. I'm Supachon Swan. Next Tuesday, the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, or NBTC, will auction off Thailand's third generation, or 3G spectrum. Back in 2010, the predecessor of the NBTC, which is the National Telecom Commission, also attempted an auction to the licenses, but was ordered to suspend the process after state-owned CAT Telecom and the TOT filed a lawsuit with the administrative court against the commission just one day before the bidding took place. History might repeat itself this year. Here's more with Kun Bundit Bundit in Economic Focus.
Thank you, Kun Supachon. Exactly as you said, tomorrow the National Broadcasting and Telecommunications Commission, or NBTC, will announce the names of the companies that will be allowed to bid for Thailand's third generation, or 3G spectrum. The actual auction will be held next Tuesday, October the 16th. However, Anupap Thiralap, an independent telecommunications expert, said that the rules for the auction lack important details covering the protection of consumer rights, and a 6-count lawsuit is to be filed with the administrative court this Wednesday. The suit includes a demand that the auction be suspended. The first count concerns the 3G coverage rollout plan. The NBTC's bid rules require that 50% of the country have access to 3G in the first 2 years, increasing to 80% within 4 years. This will mean that those living in the more remote areas of the country will not have access to the 3G services. Anupap said that in Japan, for instance, 3G coverage was mandated to cover 100% of the country within the first 2 years. The second count concerns the quality of service and the reliability signal reception. The expert argued that the NBTC should specify that the license holder must provide 3G services at the highest possible standards allowed by the existing technology. Instead, the NBTC is requiring only the lowest standards. Additionally, the NBTC did not cap or control the service fees that telecommunications companies can impose on their customers, or the level of compensation their service providers must provide in the case of network disruption or failure. More importantly, perhaps, the NBTC did not draft a standard consumer contract for services to ensure consumer rights protection or indicate how the revenue generated from the auction will be used to benefit the public. Executives of the NBTC, however, insist that the 3G spectrum auction follows the NBTC's model scheme and claim that damage will be done to the country if the auction is not held on October 16th. The government's rice pledging scheme, which guarantees to buy crops at way above the market rate, incentivizes the smuggling of rice from neighboring countries to Thailand for arbitrage, especially in Smuggling province, which is located next to Cambodia. Here, 30 cases of smuggling have been detected since the start of the program a year ago, an activity valued at about 3 million baht. This 180 tons of unmilled jasmine rice, which belongs to Pichai Kanasuk, an owner of a rice trading station in Smuggling province, was seized on last Tuesday by the Internal Security Operations Command, or ISOC, after the authorities had investigated the smuggling of rice from Cambodia for more than a month and discovered that the crop was being traded at Pichai's compound. The owner, however, said that he purchased these crops from farmers and was not aware of their origin. The ISOC authorities discovered that villagers and investors who are owners of rice trading stations transport crops in farm and pickup trucks, passing through over 20 checkpoints along the 165-kilometer-long border. The smuggling activities are usually undertaken at night. Additionally, it is interesting to note that in some districts of Smuggling province, there is not much farmland and no rice mills, but new rice trading stations are being built every year, and at the moment there are 7 new warehouses. It is thought that the high rice pledging prices have encouraged rice traders to smuggle crops from neighboring countries for sale here. Most smuggled rice is then transported to the central and the northeast regions. Oichai Kuntip Montri, the senior customs of the excise official in Aranya Pratet of Smuggling province, said that since the government's introduction of the rice pledging scheme last October, the customs office has had to handle an increase in rice smuggling activities. Sources in the area noted that preventing the smuggling of rice from neighboring countries is difficult, as the illicit activity is heavily organized, and in which some state authorities are believed to be involved. And that wraps up tonight's economic news. Now back to Kun Supachon for the rest of the program.